Good afternoon, Nigerians. I am Natasha Hadiza-Akpoti, the Kogi State gubernatorial candidate to the 2019 elections. It's an honor to be connected with you and to be given a chance to clarify some issues that came up during the face-off between Mr. Reno and myself. I did lay some accusations against him of being flirtatious towards me at the May 2014 state banquet dinner held in honor of President Uhuru Kenyatta, which of course led to the signing of the bilateral agreement between Kenya and Nigeria. Now, Mr. Reno debunked my accusation, saying that he wasn't even in the country on that day. He went as far as saying he wasn't in Nigeria for the whole of May and the better part of June. And he went forth to put out pages of his international passport, especially those that contain stamps, which he leans on to bolster his claim. So according to his post, he said, I might have seen his ghost, and his ghost might have been the one that made the advances towards me. But you see, my fellow Nigerians, I'm here to let Mr. Reno know that we are not as gullible and as stupid as he thinks we are. And I would like to call on the expertise of the Nigerian immigration officers to kindly join in clarifying the stamps in his passport. I have made a printout of his passport page, as you can see. I hope it's clear enough. This is his biodata page, and here is the page with the 3 stamps. Now, Mr. Reno said that he left Nigeria on the 28th of April 2014 and returned on the 23rd of June 2014. Many people believed what he said. Should I say, few people believed what he said, because indeed there is a stamp showing 23rd of June 2014. But if you are a traveler and you have traveled outside Nigeria, you realize that there are 2 stamps that the Nigerian immigration usually issues. One is that which is stamped for travelers leaving Nigeria, which has the SOD, meaning seen on departure. And the other stamp, which is issued for travelers arriving in Nigeria, and it has the SOA stamp, which is seen on arrival. So let's see what stamp Mr. Reno what date Mr. Reno stamp of the 23rd of June has. What does it carry? On top here, you will see SOD, which means on the 23rd of June 2014, Mr. Reno departed Nigeria. He traveled out of Nigeria. Mr. Reno did not arrive in Nigeria on the 23rd of June. He left Nigeria. The upper stamp you see here is 23rd of July 2014, and it has SOA, which means seen on arrival. It means Mr. Reno was in Nigeria on the 23rd, in Nigeria on the 22nd, in Nigeria a week before, a month before. And that means Mr. Reno was present in May at the dinner, because I know I saw him, and he only traveled outside the shores of Nigeria on the 23rd of June 2014, because it was stamped SOD, seen on departure. He spent a month on holiday and then returned to the country on the 23rd of July. It's here. The immigration officers would not be stupid enough to make a silly mistake and swap the stamps. Now also you might ask, what about the April 28 American stamp, which he says proves his entry? Now this is actually a parole stamp, which can stand as a parole visa. Now this is not a regular stamp that is given to visitors who are entering the United States of America. A parole visa, which your Google search can help you, is given to people who are on the watch list, sometimes people who are on the terrorist list, people who are not visitors, who are not free, who don't have the liberty to stay in America without being monitored closely by the immigration officers and police. That is when they are issued the parole visa. I don't know what offenses Mr. Reno might have committed there, but this parole visa, even though it's a 2-year visa, 2-year stamp, even though it holds April 28, 2014, valid till 16 July 2016, it doesn't mean he stayed there that long. It doesn't mean that he stayed there for 1 month or 2 months. It could mean that he entered America, spent 1 day, spent 2 days, however it is. He definitely returned to Nigeria for him liberty to stay in America without being monitored closely by the immigration officers and police. That is when they are issued the parole visa. I don't know what offenses Mr. Reno might have committed there, but this parole visa, even though it's a 2-year visa, 2-year stamp, even though it holds April 28, 2014, valid till 16 July 2016, it doesn't mean he stayed there that long. It doesn't mean that he stayed there for 1 month or 2 months. It could mean that he entered America, spent 1 day, spent 2 days, however it is. He definitely returned to Nigeria for him to have been able to travel on the 23rd of June. But what Mr. Reno has not shown Nigerians is his arrival stamp into Nigeria after this visit of April 28th. He refused to show us that stamp, which is possibly on other pages in his passport, or it could either be in his diplomatic passport, his official passport, because most government officials actually have either the blue or the red passport. So Mr. Reno, I am telling you now that you were in Nigeria at the state banquet dinner. That was such an August event, and you were the head of new media for Mr. President. There is no way you would have missed that gracious event. You were there. And you were in the country, because that is what your stamp says. It's here, 23rd of June. You were stamped in, and you can actually see the arrow. Now, it is not possible. Time moves ahead. We don't go back in time for you to say, okay, you left Nigeria on the 23rd of June, 2014, and arrived America April 28. It's not possible. We don't go back in time. We move ahead. So what you need to do, Mr. Reno, if you want to convince Nigerians, is provide the stamp, the immigration stamp, that is between April 28 and 23rd of June 2014 to prove that you actually entered, spent time, and departed. You can even see the arrow going out of the box, which shows the traveler leaving Nigeria, and in all seen on arrival, the arrow, comes in. So I hope I've been able to draw your attention to the misconception in Mr. Reno Omokri's post, stating that he was not in the country and that I only created this accusations to smear his image.
I did a video after one NATASHA Akpodi made some false allegations against me. Now, what a lot of people don't know is that before I did that video, I talked to my lawyer. The first person I called Chief Mike Ozekome-san. Now, he's my official lawyer. However, he told me, oh, Reno, I can't do this case because in 2019, I was NATASHA Akpodi's lawyer at the Election Petition Tribunal when she sued Governor Yahaya Bello of Kogi. So I called another lawyer, and the lawyer saw the evidence and says, wow, this woman is finished. And then I was enthusiastic. I was going to release all the evidence, and he told me, no, don't do that. You see, she claims that you made a pass during the state banquet for Uhuru Kenyatta. If you release all this evidence that shows unequivocally that you were not in Nigeria, she's going to lie and she will say, oh, I made a mistake, it was at another event. What you have to do, Reno, is release only a bit of the evidence, but give her wiggle room whereby she can point to some defects and say, it's not correct, you are lying. So I had all the evidence ready. So instead of publishing everything, I only published just one page of my passport stamp and the biodata page, giving the impression that though I left Nigeria on April 28, 2014, that I returned, and then you see the stamp there, and that stamp, that stamp, you just see the stamp there, it was there, to fool her. Well, she fell for my lawyer's trap, and today, about an hour ago, she went on her Facebook page and then she implicated herself seriously. So now we are going to release more evidence. I'm going to now show the second passport stamp, which is on another page, which I did not expose yesterday, which you will see it is a stamp on arrival at Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, and you see it there. You can see that stamp. It's going to show up on the screen. Now, I am probably the number one opponent, or rather critic of the Buhari administration. So if I'm lying, I expect the Buhari administration to go and expose me. If I'm lying, they are the ones sponsoring the NATASHA Akpodi. We have evidence to that effect. So if if I'm lying or if I'm not true, let them go and expose me. And not only that, when this case gets to court, if it gets to court, we have a statement from British Airways, because I flew British Airways from Nnamdi Azikiwe Airport to London Heathrow, and I did a stopover, and then from London Heathrow to San Francisco, and then on my way back. So throughout the days, Uhuru Kenyatta was in Nigeria from May 4, 2014 to May 7, 2014. Throughout those days, I was not in Nigeria. So this girl said I made a pass at her during that event. How could I have made a pass at her in Nigeria when I was in San Francisco? You can see that this girl is a blackmailer. This girl is a liar. And the people of Kogi, is this the kind of character?
I have before me a petition by a Nigerian citizen and a constituent of Kogi Central under the name Suberu Azamare Yakubu. And the petition is against the President of the Nigerian Senate, Senator Godswill Akpabio, for sexual harassment, abuses of office, and malicious obstruction of legislative functions of distinguished Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan. So with your kind permission, may I please lay this petition? Because as you know, yesterday...
Is there any legal impediment?
On the subject matter, none, sir. None, sir.
Please proceed to lay the petition. Since you said there is no legal impediment.
There is none, sir. Thank you.
Don't worry, somebody...
Order is she talking.
Don't give this person any PR. Don't.
Distinguished colleagues, Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan has a petition from her constituents, and she has also further confirmed before all senators that the matter in issue is not in any court of law. I have no reason not to take her word for it. So accordingly, the petition is referred to the Committee on Ethics, Code of Conduct, and Public Petitions to revert to the Senate in 4 weeks. The Senate do suspend Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan for 6 months for a total violation of the Senate Standing Rules 2023 as amended, for bringing the presiding officer and the entire Nigerian Senate in general to public opprobrium. Those in support of prayer will say aye.
Aye.
Those against say nay. I'd put the question. Those in support of prayer will say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. How do you amend a prayer that is unanimous? Prayer 2, that Botuduagan shall submit a written apology to the Senate before any reconsideration of this case by the Senate. Those in support of prayer 2 say aye. Those against say nay.
Nay.
The ayes have it. Prayer 3.
Liberalism.
Prayer 3. That the Senate do suspend Senator Akpoti Oduagan with effect from 6th day of March 2025 from all legislative activities forward. Those in support of prayer 3 say aye.
Aye.
Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Prayer 4. That her office be locked up for the duration of this suspension, and she should hand over all Senate properties in her possession to the clerk of the National Assembly. Those in support of prayer 4 say aye.
Aye.
Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Prayer 5. That for the duration of her suspension, she cannot come or be seen within the vicinity of the National Assembly, including her staff. But this is normal. Those in support of prayer 5 say aye. Those against say nay. Again, the ayes have it. Prayer 6. That our salaries and allowances, including those of our legislative aides, be suspended and withdrawal of all security details for the duration of our suspension. Yes, Senator Ojo Sakalo.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just a little amendment.
Are they also a terrorist?
I am coming, my brother.
Are they also a terrorist?
I don't know.
Benjamin
Carlo, is he a terrorist? I don't understand. So the thing remains, it is not their fault, but it is the fault of Ohanaeze, who's supposed to stand to speak for their people. They are there collecting bribe, supporting evil. It is not their fault. It is the fault of the governors in the East, who's supposed to stand up to do the needful. But they are there being fooled. I don't blame them. That's why they come out to say Obi. Is there any northern person, the Fulani person, that is more educated than Peter Obi? Is there any northern person that is more enlightened than any other person in the eastern region? One stupid elder Fulani man said that it is the poor Igbo that are asking for the release of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu and Biafra. And I asked him, I replied to him yesterday, now, Oga, you are a fool. How many Igbo children do you see that goes out and beg for food? How many of their children did you see on the streets of Nigeria begging for survival, begging for food? You say they are poor. You that is rich, your children is outside begging for food. Me and you, who better? And you open your dirty mouth. I don't know whether you don't see all these planet teeth. They know they brush mouth. The only person where gay house go know how to do clean up. They look at them, see, then just watch them. You understand? You have the audacity to talk when I'm talking. You have audacity to refer me. Do you know the meaning of terrorist? Do you know the meaning of terrorist? Because they are allowed in this country, you that is a total stranger. Then you have the guts to call me a terrorist. You have the guts to come and say Nnamdi Kanu a terrorist. Who gave you the impetus to do that? Because Nigeria is a country that have admitted as a terrorist country and they welcome terrorists. That is why you people are messing up. Because if it is a country, look at what has happened against CDS Musa and his cabinet. Don't you see the mess? They have messed them up because of what? This kind of things that is going on in the country. You cannot invite somebody like CDS Musa and turn him